Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Mr. Clutch Sportscast. It's been a while. I am genuinely sorry. I've wanted to make more videos, but a lot of stuff has happened. So, I'm here now. I'm going to make a video today, tomorrow, and probably later this week. Later this week will be mid-season predictions. Today and tomorrow is a little game called Buy or Sell. It's a baseball game, sort of, that I modified from buy, sell, or hold. I'm going to spend the next 2 days going through the American League today, the National League tomorrow, and all the divisions. We're going to see who is going to be a buyer and a seller at the trade deadline. So, without much further ado, since I've already tried to make this video once, but the file was so massive that it didn't upload, let's get right into it, shall we? The American League West. An automatic buyer for me, Houston Astros. They're picture perfect again, just about. The only thing I would add is a starter, maybe, and maybe a bullpen arm. That's about it. Their offense is rock solid even without Altuve and Correa. What can I say? They're being Houston right now. That's about it. Automatic seller, the Mariners. After a 13-2 start, they have dramatically fallen off. They are 12-35 in their last, let's see, that'd be 57 games. 47 games. I'm not doing math right. Anyways, they're terrible right now. They're already talking about trading one of their outfielders, Jay Bruce. That should tell you right away. They're not doing much. For the in-between teams, I've got the Angels as sellers. Even after the Mike Trout deal, I don't see them as contending this year. They don't have consistent enough starting pitching. I don't know too much about their bullpen, but I don't think it's good enough to warrant a postseason push. And their offense is mostly good, but they need to pick it up too. So, yeah, that's what I think about the Angels. The Athletics, I'm going to go ahead and give them a buyer status right now. Even though they have the same record as the Angels, they have more things going for them. Their bullpen is better. Blake Trinan at the back end of whoever goes up in front of him. I would suggest getting a bullpen arm for the Athletics. I think their offense is pretty well in check, so that's all good to go. Starting pitching, you might want to get another starting pitcher to shore up the rotation a bit. But Mike Fiers has been good for them. They have Sean Manaea. I mean, for the most part, they're in tip-top shape. And a surprise team, the Texas Rangers. Joey Gallo has evolved into one of the better hitters this year. So yeah, I think Texas, I'm going to go ahead and give them buyer status too. Sorry guys, thought I just got something in my eye. Anyways, Rangers are buyers to me. They've been hot lately. Starting pitching has been better than I thought it was going to be, as has their bullpen. However, I would shore up those things. Texas needs a lot to stay hot and to stay in the push for the wild card. Because, I mean, everybody knows Houston's going to wrap it up. Yeah, that wraps up the American League West. Oh, specific needs for the Rangers: another bullpen arm, another starter, and an impact bat. Those three right there. Let's move. Let's go to the Central. Why not? Automatic sellers. There's two in this division, as in the East. But in this division, it's the Royals and the Tigers. Needless to say, they're both terrible. I mean, yeah. Automatic buyer, Minnesota, atop of the AL Central at 40-18. Specific needs for the Twins, another starter. That's it, man. Their offense is rock solid. Eddie Rosario, Max Kepler, really up and down that whole Twins order. Jonathan Scope, a free agent pickup for the Twins. They've been producing all year, and that bullpen is really good. Starting rotation 1 through 3, Jake Odorizzi, Jose Barrios, and Kyle Gibson. Solid 1 through 3. Gibson can be touch and go, but for the most part, he's reliable. I would get another arm for the rotation, though, just so that if they do, well, they probably will wind up in the postseason. So just a guy to shore up that rotation, make sure they get through nice and easy. The Indians and White Sox are locked up at 29 and 30 in second place, still in a hotly contested American League wildcard battle. Had to think for a minute. The Indians have more to prove, I think. I'm going to give them the buyer status here. White Sox, I'm going to say, are sellers. They're too young, too inconsistent on all fronts to me. And I don't follow them as much as many Southsiders do. But from what I have seen, they're not there yet. Maybe in the next couple years, probably in the next 3 or 4. But this year, I just don't think they can sustain it. The Indians have more to prove because they let more people walk away. Michael Brantley, Yan Gomes, Cody Allen, among a few. Also Andrew Miller. They let them all walk. So, you know, they thought mediocrity would win the Central this year. Minnesota had other plans. But nobody saw Minnesota coming. Let's just get that clear right away. Nobody thought that'd be a thing. At least not this year. But yeah, Cleveland now has a lot to prove. They need to prove that being the low-budget team that they are currently, they need to prove that their plan is working or will work. So they at least need to contend. So I think that'll drive them to being buyers. However, there's some caveats. If Boston, Texas, and Oakland are way better than the Indians at the trade deadline, and by way better, I mean like 5 games ahead or better than the Indians, I could see them being sellers rather than buyers. But as it stands, nobody's running away with the second wild card spot, so I'm going to give the Indians buyer status. But it's teetering. It's teetering right now. That leaves the American League East. By the way, this video has gone by a lot faster than the first one did. Automatic sellers, Toronto and Baltimore. Baltimore just needs to tear it all down, start over. I believe Trey Mancini and Michael Givens will be gone by the end of the month. Trey Mancini is an outfielder / first baseman for the Orioles. Michael Givens, a relief pitcher. The only two good and consistent players for the Orioles. Yeah, just tear it down, man. Get rid of everybody. Clean out the house. Get some prospects in there, and come back in 5 or 6 years. That's the game plan. Toronto, they do still need to clean out a bit, but they're in a better spot. I see them in 2 or 3 years being heavy contenders with not Craig Biggio, Kevin Biggio, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. They will be the two that will head the youth movement in Toronto, and in a couple years, if they get the pitching straightened out, both starting and bullpen, I can see them contending in a few years. But right now, I can see Justin Smoke being traded, possibly Eric Sogard. Also, maybe Marcus Stroman or Aaron Sanchez. So they've got some pieces to move and can get back probably a good return. Automatic buyers. The Tampa Bay Rays. Man, what the Rays have done starting last year, really, they won 90 games, which in any other year would have won the division, probably, the East. But Boston won 108 games and the Yankees won 100, so yeah, the Rays were out of luck. But this year, I easily see them as the number... gosh. Not high quality, guys. Just, if you were expecting a high quality video after 2 months, tamper the expectations a bit, alright? Just, yeah. Tampa Bay will lock up, at the very least, a wild card spot. I see them in the wild card. I don't think they'll win the division, but it'll be a tight race all the way to the end. Specific needs for Tampa: a starting pitcher. That's about it, man. Their offense is really, really good with Austin Meadows and Brandon Lowe heading it up. Also Tommy Pham. Those are the three headliner guys. Their bullpen is good. They're using that opener strategy. It's working out for them. So yeah, starting pitching is about it. Now, another automatic buyer, the New York Yankees. It's not that they're buyers that should be surprising. It's how they're buyers. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Luis Severino, Greg Bird, Jordan Montgomery. There's probably more, but these 5 guys are all on the injured list as we speak. Those are 5 starters at the very least, superstars, some of them. And yet the Yankees are 38-20 as of tonight. Not bad for a team who's, like the '88 Dodgers. They're calling up everybody from AAA and they are answering the bell. That is Miguel Andujar. That's another guy. He's out for the season now. So, yeah. At this point, I see the Yankees winning the division. They've done it so far with Gleyber Torres, Aroldis Chapman, Zach Britton. I mean, anybody who hasn't spent time on the IL has been leading the charge. But Clint Frazier, Gio Urshela, who's another guy? Domingo Germán, starting pitcher for the Yankees. They've been really good. Specific needs. Not the bullpen. That's good. Starting pitching for sure. And probably an impact bat. With no... Well, the starters are going to come back. But it all depends on when, and if they get hot right away, or if it takes them a while. It's all a toss-up. So, those are the two biggest needs I see for the Yankees. The toss-up team is the Red Sox. They're 30-29. I'm going to go ahead and say that they're buyers, even though Chris Sale is 1-7 or 8. Some obscenely ridiculous win and loss record. He's been pitching better, though. I expect him to turn around. David Price has been good for the Yankees. Not the Yankees. Brain fart again. The Red Sox. David Price has been good for the Red Sox. In large part, the Red Sox have brought back many of the same guys they had from their championship run last year. I have to believe that they'll heat up. If the Red Sox are buyers, and again, it's a big pool for that second wild card spot, at least the way I see it, it's for the second wild card spot. If they do end up being buyers at the trade deadline, the biggest needs I see for them are, you could make a case that they could use a starting pitcher, a bullpen arm, and an impact bat. But I would say top priority is in the bullpen. They've not been good. Then a starting pitcher. And if you still have the prospects to give, then you can make your case that Boston should go get an impact bat that's on the market. Not sure who it would be, but you could make that case. And for tonight, I will be back tomorrow with the National League. That wraps up the American League. So I am done here. Hopefully, I won't have to make another American League video. Hopefully this one will upload. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Turn on the notifications so you'll get notified every single time I post a video. And comment below whether you agree, whether you disagree. You want to talk about chocolate? I'm down. I love chocolate. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow. So if you do subscribe, you better turn on the notifications pretty quickly, because I'll be dropping a video in less than 24 hours, hopefully. Until then, have a good night. And, as always, stay clutch, people.